Okay, so there are things we treated that day. We treated other things. I think it's just one or two things we treated that day. But let me get started with the first thing we treated. We treated how to insert images. Just a second, please. Let me reduce the volume of this thing. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so where we are, we treated doing this thing, inserting how to insert shapes and pictures into Excel. So let me just get started with you, then we'll conclude with the conditional formatting. So once you want to insert anything, apparently anything you want to insert on Excel has to go through the insert route, which is this is the insert tab on top of left where my cursor is hovering around, just after the home tab. So you click on insert. If you want to insert pictures, this is where you click on and insert pictures. I don't think I have any picture on this laptop, but let me try. So if I click on picture, okay, there are pictures. Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I remember. Someone. Okay, I was trying to do a documentary sometime, and I have this. Let me upload it. Insert. So this is a picture. So apparently, I sorry, I didn't take it through when I was uploading. Let me do it again. So you go to insert. You click on insert. You go to pictures on the insert tab, and then it takes you right into your PC. You can go to your downloads. Depends on when you saved it. Wherever you saved your picture, you can just move to wherever you saved your picture, and maybe it's in pictures wherever you saved your picture. So you can just go to wherever it is and insert something. So let me insert this picture. This is one of the pictures I used for one post like that, one history post like that. So it's a documentary about oil, how to do oil production. So once you click on the picture, you click on insert. Once you click on insert, the picture comes into Excel. Now you can also format this picture in Excel. This is how to do it. Like it's looking really big, like very big. So you can do all of that. So you can just hold. There's this small knob. If you're looking at, if you take a closer look at this picture, you see there's this small knob around it. Is here, is at the middle, is just midway from the top to the to down. You can, if you want to expand this way, you can go this way with it. As you're dragging this thing, just double click on it and drag. You can drag it, but it's preferable not to do it this way, except the shape you're looking for is that way. Fine, but you don't drag pictures like that normally. Even when you're editing pictures, when you're doing using Photoshop and all of that, you don't drag pictures like that. So if you want to minimize the size, you go to the edges, like the two edges. This is an edge. Let me move it. Ah, this is looking very big. Okay, let me just reduce the screen. Okay, good. So this is it. This is it. So you can format this picture, you can use it, double click and drag it to wherever size you want. Double click here, drag to wherever size you want. Now note, if you drag from the middle, that's from this other side, apart from the edges, you don't drag from this other side. You only drag from the middle. If when you drag from the middle, when you drag from the middle, when you drag from the middle, this is what you get. Let me do it so you can see it. This is what you get. So it's not advisable you do this. Even when you're editing pictures, you don't do this. It's not advisable you do it. I mean, look at what the picture now looks like. It doesn't make any sense. So we'll do Control Z. We get back our picture to where it was. So this is it for this picture. Now, if you want to, maybe you want to reference something, probably this particular cell here, this $1,000. Now, you want to reference it. Probably you just want to draw attention to it. Anyhow you want to do it, you can just go to click on your insert. You go to shapes. I think this is the one we used that day. This. So once you click on it, you just drag. The way you drag it, whether if you drag up, it's tinier, and you can just move around it. You can move it around with this thing. You can make it bigger, you can make it bolder, whatever you want, however you want to do it. This is how you're going. This is your dragging determines what however you want it to appear. So if you want to really make reference to this particular one, you can just keep it here. I think that's okay. And then you can now move it around. Of course, you know how to. You just click on it and move it around, right? Let me also draw your attention to something, particularly in Excel, not just Excel. I think majorly one on most of this formatting apps, this is what you get. So this particular one now, once you notice, if you click outside this picture now, you get this cross cursor. If you move it to the picture, the cross becomes I don't know how this not arrow running from north to south and from north to south, yeah, and from east to west, right? It now becomes four. But when you keep it here, it's the same thing actually. It's the same thing. But now you notice that you now have arrowheads when you put it here. So this simply indicates that you can drag this thing around. Like this picture, just double click on it and you can move it around. Now, also on this one, it means you can move it around. If I don't want it to be here, I don't want to reference this particular $1,000. I can drag it to $6,158. Now, and also, like I said, it's not necessarily just if you want to bring attention to this particular one, you can use it maybe during a presentation or something, anything like that. You can actually do it in those. So that's that for that. So we've treated how to insert pictures, or maybe you're doing your presentation and you need to make reference to a picture, probably a picture taken in the field or something that is really important to you. You can just insert the pictures. They're quite easy to do. If you use MS Excel, no, MS Word very well, you would agree with me that these things are really they're not really tough. It's just normal inserts. It's just normal insert. So let's go back to inserting. Um so you can insert shapes, right? Like I said, we already inserted one arrow. You can insert shapes. These are different shapes you can insert. Just go to shapes. Once you click on shapes, you can literally insert anything here. Even this mimi, right? You can insert this mimi. You can just double click, you bring it here. Now, and also notes, you can also change, you can format this shape you just inserted now. Let's say for instance, oh, this thing is looking too big. I already told you how to minimize. Don't minimize from the middle this thing, from the middle knob. So you can just minimize it. Let's say I want to take it to this place. I'm not really comfortable with where it is. I want to move it around. Maybe I want to just beautify my work, because most times these things are for aesthetics. Also, it depends on what you're working on, not just for aesthetics. So notice now, this particular image, this image we just inserted now, we can actually edit. Even this shape here, this arrow shape, you can actually edit. So once you click on it, it gives you the format. You can change the color, this shape fill. You can change the color to whatever color of your desire, right? So let's leave it in orange. That's it. Makes more sense. I think I like this color more. So for this meme now, you can do the outline. No, if you want to just change the outline, if you notice, once I move this thing around, I clicked on shape outline, and then I move it around this color fill. Wherever my cursor goes, it just picks up the outline of that thing. I think you see this more on Corel Draw if you use Corel Draw more. So this shape outline can, if you take it to green, it's no longer should no longer be fine now. Let's leave it at black. Then let's take another shape that's blue already and on a green background. It's not even looking nice. Let's check for yellow. Yeah, this is good. So you can literally format these shapes when you bring them into your Excel work, like into your worksheets. You can literally format all of them and give them the shape or whatever you want it to look like. So next we move to the conditional formatting. So now, like I said, I'm going to use this small data set. We can still use another data set maybe when when it's required, we'll go ahead and use it. Of course, sometimes you might be needing to work with a big data set, so apparently you need all the knowledge you can get. So let me increase my screen. I don't think we need these pictures anymore, so I'll just go ahead and delete it because we'll be needing this space a lot. So I'll just go ahead, expand my screen so you can see everything. Then we move. Ah, okay. Notes. In our previous class, I said something about when you are when you want to edit. I said something about when you want to do apply your conditional formatting. I think I'll just talk about the basics of conditional formatting. So what does conditional formatting do? Conditional formatting, most cases when I work with conditional formatting is when I want to compare things. Maybe I have a list of workers. Let's say we have 20 employees and they have targets for each month, and then you want to compare what have these people done in the previous months, what they did in the previous months versus what they did, maybe let's say October and November, what they did in October and November and even December, right? You can do with a lot of months. So let's just work with 2 months so that it doesn't confuse us. But it's just the same format, right? There is no changes. There are no changes. So you mostly when I work with it, it's mostly when I want to do comparisons, right? You want to know your numbers. You want to know how whether your numbers are going up or your numbers are going down. You'll be needing conditional formatting a lot, and that is why I took out time to teach on conditional formatting. So we'll just go ahead with it right now, and wherever you have questions, just make sure to write down the questions, put it on the platform, wherever you, even if you don't want to put it on the platform, you can reach out to me, send to my inbox, where however it is, any question you have. The goal is for everybody to have their hands on Excel at the end of this class, right? So on conditional formatting, we'll go to conditional formatting. Now, this is it. Once you Meanwhile, the conditional formatting is on the home tab, right? Look at it here. Let me exit this. Look at the conditional formatting here, right? I hope you can see it. I hope you can see it. So this is where your conditional formatting is. So this conditional formatting is literally, it makes a lot of things literally easy for you. So let's get started. Let's highlight this. Meanwhile, whenever you want to do anything, please let me plead with you. On your total, please leave out. Always try ensure to leave out your total. If you want to do any calculation or any analysis and then you go and put your total there, it's going to spoil everything for you. Like it's not one thing to spoil everything for you. So whenever you're highlighting, you want to do anything, you want to analyze your data, don't go to the total. Except it's a case where you need your total. But in most cases, you don't need your total for anything. In most cases. But then if you're also analyzing the totals, that's very fine, right? So let's click on our data in our data set. Not all of them on the numbers on our expenses for 2019, January 2019 to March 2019. So we go to conditional formatting. So here, I when we started last time, we started with highlights and salaries. Right. Right. So today, I just don't want to go into all of that, but we're still going to treat it at least briefly for all of them. But then I want us to start with icon sets for this one. I think moving from the smallest to the known to the unknown makes it a lot easier, right? So when we go to the icon sets, I already highlighted this. I already highlighted this and I really want to analyze this. Now the icon set, this is what the icon set looks like, right? Anyone you click on, notice whenever once I move, it moves with me. Once I move, it moves with me. Anywhere I'm going, notice the data there are changes occurring on the data set, right? So let's start with the first one. These things are just these arrows now, they just represent values. Now you have the green, you have the yellow, you have the red. Normally, let's even use traffic lights. Green means go, yellow means danger, red means stop, right? So once you look at these things, these are just general things that you see out there. You literally meet them every day. So once you click on it, like my cursor is there, and notice our data set. Oh, I cannot remove it. Okay, let me just keep it there, and then please take your attention to the data set. You notice that 200 is declining. What I'm telling this thing to do now is just highlight numbers, the high numbers for me. It depends on what you're analyzing, like I said, and how you want your output to be. So now I want to analyze these things. These are my expenses in January, these are my expenses in February, these are my expenses in March. So in January, I spent $200 on electricity. In February, I spent $600 on electricity. In March, I spent $200 on electricity. Notice the decline arrow is saying you spent less. But in February you spent more, and the arrow is going high. It's more. In March the same thing, you spent less, so it's giving you the green arrow. Now look at let's move to the row that has yellow this thing yellow arrow. So this yellow arrow now is on 500. It's on the average. It's telling you, okay, because whatever data set you're using, if you're using 1000, if your data is coming, let's say 200, 300, 400, 500, it's going to be measuring it with 1000. If you're using 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, it's going to be measuring it with 100. These are just general things in mathematics, right? So now that it's measuring with, already it has seen 600 in its data set, so it's not measuring with 1000, right? Now if you look at this on the icon set, if you click on the icon set, it's just telling you, oh, 600 is high. Now you can also equate this thing to maybe you have employees, and you have employees and you give them a certain target for the month, and then someone is doing $200, maybe in collections. You tell the person, okay, I need you to, I'm giving you 1 million, or 100,000. Let's use 100,000, or 1,000. Let's use 1,000 since our benchmark here is 1,000. So I'm giving you 1,000, and 1,000, that's your collection target for the month. And then this person comes and does 200. The first person in first month, okay, let's replace this electricity with, okay, Anne did $200 in the first month. Second month, she did $600. Then in the third month, she did $200 again. Now, when you want to conditional, when you want to analyze this with conditional formatting, it's going to tell you Anne did higher in February, and the higher is the green showing here, right? Is the green. Oh, I need to apply this thing so that we don't keep going back and forth. Okay, so we'll go back to it. Don't worry about that. So now, talking about this data sets. Now Anne did 600. I don't know, maybe I should write it. Anne, okay, Chinaza. um Please, don't focus your attention on the spellings. We can just, this is just an experiment. um Chidinma, Chidinma, Nonso, Nonso. Nobody's helping me now. Listen, George. So in January, Anne did $600. Now let's use 6,000. Let's even use something that is not conventional. 6,000. This one did 10,000. Okay. Then now did 7,000 in March. Now Nkechi did 300. Maybe she's the lowest performing. She did 3,000, and then she did 250,000, and then again she did 300,000. I think 7,000, 3,000. Okay, 250, 250, 2,500. That's what it's supposed to be. I made a mistake. 2,500. So here, 200, 6,000, 5,000. Okay, 6,000 again. Let's make a piece of around. So this place she did 4,000. So here Chima did 250, 2,500. She, in the coming months, she did 500. This is 5,000. She now did 440, 4,400, right? So here, let's just populate this thing anyhow. I also want to use very small numbers so that we don't miss out on what we want to do. Um, Maybe sometime around 5,500. Yeah. So what else? What else? What else? Mm, 3,500, 5,000, 8,000. Okay, this is employee, January, February, March. Okay, so let's just keep it this way. Let me just highlight this so that it's very prominent. I just don't want anything which will be okay. Good. So here we are. So now we want to analyze this data. I want to know my best performer. I want to know how they, all of them, each and every one of them performed. I want to compare what they did within the period, within January, February, and March. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll just highlight all the data sets, like all the numbers, what they worked in different months. I'll go to conditional formatting. Once I get to conditional formatting, I go to icon sets. I just bring in these things. It just tells me I don't have to go and start looking. Okay, I think 6,000 is on the average. I think 7,000 is on the average. I think what's this? What's it called? I think 3,000 is below average, right? So what Excel does for you is it tells you, okay, this is what is obtainable. This is what you have here, right? You don't have to start moving around, start breaking your head over things before you actually know what you have. So I want to move this to the top. Okay, good. So I hope you saw what I did there. Just highlight all your this thing, and then like I mentioned earlier, there is this arrow that comes up where it tells you, okay, now you can move these things. So you can let's introduce filter to this thing and see how it works. Introduce filter. So now let's say, okay, I just want to filter for this. You can filter by color. So now you just want to say, okay, I just want to know how these guys did. So you filter by color. So once you click on the filter by color, you can just say, okay, I want to know the people who performed below average, on average, on the average in January, right? You click on this. Okay, in January till, sorry, I didn't highlight January, so it's giving me everybody that performed. Oh God, okay, let's do this again, please, because I didn't get it right the first time. Control Z. So right here, I'm going to filter. I'm going to filter by color. So this is it for January. This is what I'm having for January. These two people and also did performed on the average. They were only the only ones on the average. Now, if I want to say, okay, I want to know people who did below average, you click on it. It shows you people who did below average. Nkechi did below average, Chinaza did below average, Chidima did below average, George did below average, right? So these are things that you can, these things make things easy for you. Let's say you have 1,000, 10,000 data sets, numbers, like when you're numbering them, the data sets are up to 10,000. And now already you've already introduced conditional formatting, the icon set on them, and really you don't want to come and start doing them. And another thing, one amazing thing about this thing, this particular tool is once you tell it, this is what I want to know the people who did below average. You don't have to go and start counting the number again. Look at the number here. Now down bottom left, if you see where my cursor is hovering, it will tell you 4 of 6 records because you have 4 entries. You have 6 entries, right? And you're seeing 4. it's 4 people that perform below average. So you can actually get your total number of people who perform below average, and you can as well see the number of people who perform below average. You don't have to go and start beating your head over, okay, let me count them one after the other. Okay, this is red, this is red, this is red, this is red, right? Or maybe you see, maybe you're analyzing a sales data set, right? Maybe you want to analyze your sales for January and February, or you want to compare your sales in 2020, 2023 to your sales in 2022. You can just bring out all of this. Once you've had your entries for each of the year, right? You can just tell conditional formatting, okay, tell me, well, you can just apply conditional formatting. Conditional formatting just tells you, okay, this is what you did, this is what is obtainable, this is where you guys are, and you can just do the comparison without you having to break your head over it, right? And it will tell you, look at the numbers. You'll be seeing your numbers, like you go to see them as you're doing it, you're seeing your numbers, right? So this is really, really simple, very, very simple. I don't know how. It's really important, like I said earlier, that I really took out time in our previous class to teach this, but because I know how complicating it can get, and thank God we didn't even record that class too, because if we had recorded it, probably we wouldn't be coming back to all of this now. So now you know how this thing works. So we go back to also notice something when you're working with a data set. Well, once you go to and you see that there is this thing they applied, maybe there is a filter, they applied filter on it. Always look out for these filters. If you look at this place, this particular data set I just introduced now, if you look at it, you find that this one is an inverted triangle. This one is no longer an inverted triangle. It's looking like there's an inverted triangle and there's something that looks like maybe a tower. Is it tower? Yeah, a tower or something. This one is inverted triangle. Once you see this, just know that there is an application. There is an analysis that was done on that particular one. So you can just click on it and clear everything. You can just select all, or you just clear filter from January here too. Is that you select all or you clear filter. So you say, okay, our data set comes back to what it was, right? So that's what I wanted to show you with the icon set. So now on this icon set too, let me also say something. If you go to conditional formatting and go to your icon set, that just a whole lot of them. You can decide, okay, I don't want to use this, I want to use this, I want to use this is what I want to use, you know. I want to use, like, literally anyone way you want to use a day. If you want to say, okay, I want to use this one, let's even apply this one and see. Okay, you see, this one is not doing, this one did not do what, this one is so glaring. If the employee see it, the employee be like, ah, now, wow, you don't mark me bad. You get. So this is what is obtainable, right? This is, it makes your work literally easy. It makes your work literally easy. Conditional formatting is something I don't joke with. Like, I don't joke with it. That's why I said I'm going to dedicate one class to conditional formatting, even though I know it's not really worth it like that. But I know I've made some mistakes. I've done a lot of things that at the end of the day I had. When I started, I didn't know the use of all of these things that much. So most times, hey, I'll be working with Excel. The funny thing is that time I'll be thinking, this is nice, so that this Excel is really making things easy for someone. But the gist is that when you learn the tricks, you find that you yourself, you're even suffering on top of the Excel that is making things easy for people. So now let's go to conditional formatting again. So also note, if you want to apply anything, you can always clear rules. Like, look at this. I want to clear this rule here. I don't want to work with this X good, whatever it is. I don't want to work with it again. So you just go to conditional formatting, clear rules. Once you click on clear rules, everything clears. Yeah, from selected cells. So clear rules from selected cells. So once you clear, it goes off. Now let's just look around. Color scales. You can use color scales, or so these are okay. Let's just apply. I don't like using this one because it takes a lot of space, and sometimes it's not even direct. Like I said, me, I don't like applying it. It might be your favorite, but so let's click on it. So you click on it, it's showing you. You see, for me, it really, literally, it's just difficult for me to. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But then it shows you different things. This is showing that this is the highest. It's showing you that this is fair. This is fair to. Okay, this is also good. This is also good. But this is fair. 600 is 6,000 is fair. 6,000 is fair, and all of that. So if you are very good with mastering the colors, why not? If not, so, but me, I don't like using it because it's confusing. It's confusing. I just like something that if I look at, I don't already see. Okay, waiting day now. This thing day from for this thing. How do you do now? So let's go back to conditional formatting. So you can use the data bars. Now this data bars is more like it's not like chart. It's more like chart because okay, let's apply this green on it. Now notice it's telling you this bar is full, this bar is almost full low, but it has gone more than halfway. But now you know you need I don't know how to put it, sha, but you need people like me that use glasses now. I'll be needing extra. And I'm trying to expand it so that at least you can see where the how the bars run, right? Okay, see it. This is it. This one is it's more than halfway. This one is full. Like I said, we're using 10,000 now. So it takes the highest number in your data set. It uses the highest number in your data set to analyze every other thing you have, right? So now this hand is more than halfway. No, so it's 5,000, it's more than halfway, slightly more than halfway. Okay, 3,000 below halfway, right? So now if you want to analyze, you wouldn't see, you can, no, you can, it depends on how you work because apparently everybody knows how efficient they are with certain things. But for me, I don't like using it. It's just sometimes when you're space because you're trying to manage space, you're trying to see your data, and eventually you put all of this. And just imagine if we have other months, like we have the whole 12 months, and then you need to expand this to see it very well. It's just cumbersome. I don't like using it, but then it doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk about it. At least you get to know what it is, what it is used for, how it is used, right? So that's that for this one. So we're just going to clear the rules because honestly this thing is not working for me. So it's not so you just clear rules from selected cells. Fine. So now let's go to this other one. Let's go to this other one. The top button. Okay. Okay. Now this is a little tricky too, but it's literally something you use. So let's click on below average. Now I have this whole data set and I just want to Excel to give me all the ones that are below average. I click on it. It highlights them. It just tells me, okay, this you can actually tweak this if you click on this drop down button. You can maybe red border, yellow. You can decide to check whatever number. Notice as I'm clicking on the colors, they are changing, right? Well, however you want to format it, just format it like that. I like using this thing. They said red is even appearing like pink, but let's just say okay. Once you click on it, it will highlight all the numbers that are below average. Now these numbers are below average. Apparently these numbers are below average. When you look at the data set, you already know that these numbers are below average. So this is what it does for you. Now let's say I'm going to clear this row and we'll check out another one. So clear. Then you check out another one. Sorry, I didn't clear all of them. Let me go back and clear rows. So um sorry for the interruption. Um so sorry for the interruption, guys. My data finished and I had to switch network. So I had to switch network. So okay, so we go over it again. I don't know where it's even finished, but I'll just take the last two we did before. We'll take it again. So so No, I don't know. I'm just stuttering because I don't even know how to go about it. But Shasha, let's just get started anyhow. So let me go back to conditional formatting and clear these rules like you already know. So we'll take the last two we did before, which is here from the top slash bottom rooms. So we did below average. So we click on below average. It just highlights this, and like I said, probably it cut you off, or you were in the last class, so at least you should know it. So light red, you can tweak this. You can decide green. You can decide whatever. Let's even use green. What just any color feel you feel it's okay for you, you can do it. But the default is on this light red feel with dark red text. So yeah, so we click on OK. It gives you all the low performance, the below average performance. This is what it gives you. It just gives you the below average performance. Now let's clear this condition and then go to another one. So top bottom rows, bottom 10%. This is it. If you increase, the more you go up, the more numbers it accommodates. Let's say 40, it accommodates more numbers. Let's say 50%, it accommodates below bottom 10, bottom 50%. So this is how it works. Like people that performed below 50%, when they were at 50% and below. So you notice it also highlighted this 500 because 5,000, sorry, 5,000 is on the average, but it's below. Like you're telling it 50%. So and it has taken the highest number here and is using it to judge you. So it's below it's 50% and below. So this is what is you can tweak it, you can say 70% and below, you can say 80% and below, you can say 10% and below, 20% and below, whatever you're working on, depending on okay, yeah, it depends on whatever you're working on and the output you want to get, right? So that's that for that. So we can go ahead and clear the rules. So next we go to top 20. I'm not going to do this other two because it's literally what we did. Now this one's looking at bottom and bottom, this one is looking at top and top. So it's literally the same thing. If you go to top, it gives you the top. If it goes to bottom, it gives you bottom. If you go to top, it's just the same thing. Let's even try with top 10%. So top 10%, now you don't see them, it just gave you top 10%. If you say top 20, I'm sure it will include this 80. Yeah, this 8,000 and 7,000. It has included it, right? So this is literally what we did, but it's now telling you the reverse, opposite of this. You can actually do the opposite of this with this, with this, with this, right? That's what this particular one is about. So good. We need to go and clear the rules, and we move out from here. I just want to make this thing as simple as possible so that you can literally understand it and you can do it on your own. So let's go to this LSL rules that is greater than. Let me no, this is not supposed to come out like this. Comes so first. Let's go back to it. Yeah. So now you have greater than, you have less than, you have between, you have equal to, you have text that contains. You can use text though, you can format text with conditional formatting. So I say, okay, I want text that contains E, A, right? You can do all those things. You can do a date occurring. Like you can say, okay, I have maybe in my data set, I have two dates that are occurring. You can do dates that are occurring. You can do for duplicate values too. Duplicate values, normally duplicate something variable at all, something like that that is spread and all of that. So now let me say I want to get for greater than, let's say, okay, let's just click on greater than and format greater than. I want items greater than. Please always ensure to format this, unless what you have on the default is what you want. Always ensure to format it. Always remember, don't forget. So I want from numbers greater than, okay, let's say 500, 5,000. Yeah. So okay, we click on okay. Once you click on OK, it gives you all of these numbers that highlighted in our data set. All of them are greater than 500. Like even 5,000 rather. Even this 5,000 here, it did not. It says greater than. So as Excel is very very specific. If you give it an instruction, you go. It's not. I'll tell you to buy salt. When you now get there, you'll be like, I think this salt is moist. This one is not moist. I'll be all of them are salt. I'll be let's just carry it and be going. It should be said salt. Now Excel does not work like that. Excel works like literally. If you're telling me I want moist and salt. I'm getting moist salt. If you tell me I want dry, and if you tell Excel I want dry salt, Excel gives you dry salt. I don't understand. I don't know. This is just an illustration, right? So what we're trying to say is, I told Excel, please give me numbers above 5,000, and he gave me all the numbers above 5,000. So maybe when you're formatting your when you're working with your data set and okay, you're looking at sales numbers higher than people who did really well, and you want to say okay, higher than 5,000, these people sold items, 5,000 items, and I want to know each person or out of all the employees, how many people sold above 5,000. So you just tell Excel, okay, I just highlight it for me. Excel just gives it to you, and amazingly, you can for each of the columns you can edit, right? You can filter for each of the columns. You can filter for month, you can filter for years. It depends, literally depends on what you're working on and the output you desire, right? So that's what happens here. So let's go back to our conditional formatting and clear. Always remember to clear these rows. Always remember to clear these rows. So your clear rows. I want to do another one and say numbers less than. Okay, I want to get numbers less than. These are people that I'm tired of working with them. Their numbers are always bad. Literally every time their numbers are bad, and you want to put them on maybe a performance plan. Probably you just want to, maybe you work in HR and you say okay, I really don't want these people anymore. Let's give them a warning, like a warning letter. If you perform below this so number again, we're going to exit you from the business. So you just say okay, depending on number you have, okay, let's use 3,000 here. So we use 3,000. These are the people we're going to put on performance plan, and you click on okay. So it literally gives you the people who did this thing, right? Who did, and it depends on the month you're working on. Or like I said, it depends on the month you're working on. So I highlighted all of this, and we're analyzing from January, February, and March. So these are the people, the underperformers, and no, you people have to go because you're killing the business. So we go again, we clear our rules. So we go again and apply another conditional format. Between, I just want to get people who sold items between 5,000 to 7,000. Okay, good. Between, you see, Excel gives you two numbers, two columns for you to put your numbers, two cells, or rather, I don't even know what to say. So it just gives you two options for you to put your head. So I want numbers between 5,000 and 7,000, right? I'm going to come here and write 7,000 and click OK. Now, if you look at what it formatted for you, there's no number below 5,000 there. There is no number above 7,000 there. It highlighted those numbers that you want. Like I said earlier, if you tell Excel, I want salt, you have to be specific. Do you want moist salt or do you want dry salt, right? So this is what happens here. This is what happened here. So we go again, we clear our rules. So you can work with this thing one at a time, one at a time. So equal to, we want numbers equal to, okay, I want numbers equal to 5,000. It will highlight only numbers equal to 5,000. Look at the data set. It's just highlighting only numbers that are equal to 5,000. Now let's go and clear our rules again. Clear rules from selected cells, and let's go. We go again. We go again. Text that contains, we can do this on text. We'll do it. Okay, let's even do it now. Okay, so let's even go to duplicate values before we do this too, right? Because I will need to go to another data, not another data per se, go to another row for us to get from the text from text that contains and a date of occurring. So here now let's put duplicate values. Let's go to duplicate values. Okay. Now, if you look at these duplicate values, you find out that for every value that is highlighted here, it has another value somewhere. So this is 6,000, this is 6,002, this is 3,000, this is 3,000, this is 25, this is 252, this is 5,000, this is 5,000, and this is 5,000. So this is what it tells you. Okay, we have recurring values. So just in case, it depends on, like I always say, when you're working with conditional formatting, in fact, when you're working on Excel, the output you desire depends on what you're working with and what you want. Most times it's dependent on what you want. So um that's it. So let's go and clear rules. And I'm sure you understand it. Even if you don't understand, you can just go over the video again, go over the recording again. You definitely get it. I'm very, very sure of that. So for this, let's go to conditional formatting, the text part of it. No. So the text part of it, text that contains, so you can say text that contains A, right? Okay. You click on OK. So it highlights all the text that contains A. And contains A. Chinasa contains A. Chidima contains A. Notice it left out Nkechi. Nkechi does not contain A. Noso does not contain A. Just does not contain A. So this is literally how this thing works. You're going to be needing it, trust me. As long as you're working with data, you're going to be needing it at one point or the other. So that's it, people of God. We have come to the end of this class. I hope you grabbed a lot. I'm just going to upload it on that YouTube channel. I'm going to send you the link. If you don't want to watch it there, you can download. In fact, I advise you download so that you can go over it anytime, any day you want. Right? So thank you for today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking out time to listen to me blab. All right. So thank you very much. God bless. Yeah.